Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make Korean pumpkin cream soup, or 통당호박 cream soup, which literally means whole pumpkin cream soup. So I was at this quasi fancy restaurant in Seoul, and my friend had ordered something that I probably would not have ordered on my own. But that's only because I don't know pumpkin outside of pies and pastries and lattes. Well, anyway, so she shared it with me and I really loved it. I couldn't stop eating it. It was buttery and milky, and it had this really nice sweetness that was somehow necessary and surprisingly satisfying. And as I was eating it, I kept thinking, I think I can make this. So on my way home from business travel, I stopped by the grocery store and I grabbed a few pumpkins because I was determined to figure this out. And you know what, guys? I think I did it. I think I did it. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So Koreans eat pumpkin year-round. They actually eat a variety of pumpkin. But the most common one that you'll see is this one. This is... I don't know if there is a more defined term for this here. They would just call this ho박 or danho박, which is pumpkin. If I were in America, I'd probably call this a squash, only because it's not orange. But I guess it's both. This is a Japanese kabocha squash. What is the difference between a pumpkin and a squash? It's really simple. We define that by the shape. Pumpkins are round and they look like pumpkins. And squash are weird looking. And now I'm sure there are texture and taste differences, but they're literally the same species. So if you cannot find this at a grocery store or an Asian market near you, I feel pretty confident that you can do this with a sugar pumpkin. This has a very similar taste and texture to sugar pumpkin. You could probably use a regular pumpkin or any winter squash for that matter. It's really simple and really fun to do, guys. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is rinse our pumpkin just to get any kind of dirt off or film from pesticides. Now that my pumpkin is washed, I'm going to cut the top open and scrape out all the seeds just like you would a jack-o'-lantern. But if you guys don't want to go through all that nonsense, traditionally here in Korea, they would just lop the top eighth of this pumpkin straight through. It's less hassle. It'll give you more of a bowl shape. But I've got this pumpkin cutter that I rarely get to use. And I just think that the jack-o'-lantern configuration is just way more sexy. So that's what I'm going to do. So here's my pumpkin. I cleaned it all out. And these are, if you guys are wondering, these are no kidding pumpkin seeds. You could actually clean these off and fry these in some salt and pepper and butter and have you a nice little Halloween snack. So to make this recipe quick and easy, and probably how a restaurant is able to serve this dish in a timely manner, is that we are going to cook this pumpkin in the microwave. Now, it's really difficult for me to recommend how long you're supposed to cook a pumpkin in the microwave for, because a lot depends on how powerful your microwave is, how ripe your pumpkin is, and the size of it as well. But I will give you a few examples, and I can tell you the end result you're looking for. Now, how do you tell if your pumpkin is ripe? That is a really good question, and I'm not quite sure, but this lady at the grocery store said that, and we're just talking about this particular pumpkin, or Kabocha squash in particular, is that the outer shell will be harder like a fingernail and more waxy looking and shinier, whereas a less ripe pumpkin like these two, their skin will feel like a watermelon. Now, for a smaller pumpkin like this, and I don't have a banana for scale, but I do have, ta-da, my cell phone, which is about 6 inches tall. This size pumpkin will take you anywhere between 8 to 15 minutes in the microwave. Whereas a larger pumpkin like this one, and I don't know if you can see this difference, but this pumpkin is almost twice the size as this one. A pumpkin this size will take you anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes in the microwave. That sounds crazy, and I've done it, and I'm still alive to tell you this story. But if you do not feel comfortable doing that, I get it. 30 minutes sounds like a long time to cook anything in the microwave. You can cook this pumpkin the old-fashioned way, and that's basically you're going to throw this in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 degrees Celsius for about an hour. But it may take you longer than an hour, because unlike making pumpkin pie from scratch, you're not going to be poking a bunch of holes in this thing, because we're going to use this as the bowl for our soup. But what you're looking for is that you need the inside flesh of this pumpkin to be fork tender. It should feel like the inside of a baked potato. That's what you're looking for. So what I've done is I just poured a little bit of water in here, just about a quarter of the way full. And I'm gonna take my pumpkin and put it in a freezer bag. And I'm gonna put it in the microwave just like this, with the top just cocked open. And I'm not gonna close the freezer bag, I'm just gonna keep it just like this. For this small pumpkin, I'm gonna put it in the microwave for about 8 minutes and then check it. And if it needs to be more, I'll just add a minute and check it and add another minute. For a larger pumpkin, I would start off at 15 minutes and check it, and then move up by 1 minute at a time. So for 8 minutes in a 720 watt microwave, my pumpkin is done. And because of how small it is, it probably was done before 8 minutes. And because of that, I just grabbed the entire plate, the whole entire microwave plate out of the oven, because you really need to be careful when you're handling this fully cooked pumpkin, because they're not really structurally sound, and an overcooked pumpkin will just literally fall apart on you. And that's partly why I put this pumpkin into a freezer bag, because I'm just going to cut this away and really not touch it. There it is, guys. It is done. It kind of feels like an overboiled carrot. That's kind of what you're looking for. So I'm just going to let this sit while we make our soup. So using a saucepan, we're going to set our fire to really low, and we're going to start melting 2 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm using unsalted butter, so you may need less salt than I'm going to add. Now that our butter has melted, we're going to add 1 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And we're also going to add 1 1/2 cup of whole milk. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And now for our secret ingredient. When I first started to figure this out. I thought it was the pumpkin's natural sweetness that was coming through, but like a lot of things in life, that is a lie. We are going to add 6 tablespoons of sugar. And that is it, guys. We are just going to mix this until it's melted and combined. Now, this is only going to cook for about 3 minutes. We do not want this to get thick like an Alfredo sauce. So it's been cooking for about 3 minutes now, guys. It is done. Remember, I'm shutting my heat off. I do not want this to get thick. It's just going to look like a really thick milk or a thin, heavy cream. And that's really kind of what you want. So let's plate this thing. So I transferred my pumpkin over to a plate. And I'm just going to delicately just take this off. And we are going to pour our soup right into this bad boy. Just like so. So here it is, guys. Here is my Korean pumpkin cream soup. Now, there may be some of you who are wondering, well, now what? How the hell are you supposed to eat this thing, right? Well, we are going to scrape the inside of this pumpkin and mix it with our cream soup. Just like this. Now, you're supposed to garnish this with parsley, but I just don't like that flavor that parsley adds to this soup in particular, but you're more than welcome. It looks prettier if you do it that way, but we're just gonna mix our pumpkin with this soup. And we're gonna eat it just like this. So here it is, guys, Korean whole pumpkin cream soup. Now, I can't say that this was really easy and really quick for me to do this time, but it can be because the recipe really is that simple. And I had a lot of fun doing this. And I think a lot of you guys will too. Now, if you don't want to go through all this nonsense of making a jack-o'-lantern bowl in the microwave, you can literally just cut up the flesh of this pumpkin and boil it and mash it into your cream soup. That's typically how anybody is going to make this and eat it anyway. I just wanted to show you how this restaurant did it because I thought it was really cool and I am easily astonished. But I can't promise that this is going to be everybody's cup of tea, especially since there ain't no meat in it. But it is really delicious and it's hearty. And I find myself craving it over and over. I think I've found a new comfort food. So I definitely hope you guys like this. Please try it out. I think I did it. I think I did it.